How should you build the LR-AGL Cell Max Hidden Potential? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan Battle video for you here today. We are taking a look at the brand new Transcendent Dokkan campaign, Part 2 LR, the Cataclysmic Calamity LR-AGL Cell Max. And in this video, we are going to break down and give our best recommendation for his hidden potential. So let's go ahead, let's hop on in, and let's start by taking a look at his kit. He is a movie bosses category key 4, HP attack defense 220%. This is pretty standard for your Carnival LRs. On his 18 key, he is massively raising attack for 4 turns while causing mega colossal damage to the enemy. That is a 100% raise on his attack for 4 turns. On his 12 key, he is greatly raising attack and defense for the turn, causing colossal damage, sealing enemy super attack, and a 70% chance to stun. Now, this is important as it'll play into how we build his character in a minute, but notice his defense raise is only on the 12 key. Passive includes an entrance animation that activates once only, will buff him up to 999% attack. And that does sound like a lot, but it is mitigated by the fact that the following line reduces his attack and defense by 111% every 2 turns. So essentially every time he's on rotation, no more than 444%. So after 4 of his turns have passed, he will have been fully debuffed. Now, he's still pretty decent when fully debuffed, right? But you're definitely going to want to account for that loss in stats. Basic effects include an additional key 1 per key sphere obtained and guards all attacks. For 1 turn from his entry turn, he has 70% damage reduction, key 8, 100% attack when attacking, and 100% defense when receiving an attack. Starting from the 2nd turn from his entry turn, he will get key 3, 40% attack if 20% or more HP, an additional key 3, 40% attack if 50% or more HP, key 2, 20% attack if 80% or more HP. This is additive, so it will stack up. So if you have full HP, you will gain all 100% attack buffs. When receiving an attack, he has 50% defense and damage reduction rate 40% with 20% HP, 30% and 20% damage reduction rate if 50% HP, and 20% defense and 10% damage reduction rate if 80% HP. And again, like the attack, if you are at full HP, you have the full bonus. So 100% defense when receiving an attack plus an additional 70% damage reduction rate. And so what that means is he's going to be pretty decently tanky. When activating the active skill or when attacking with 20 or more key, he performs a critical hit and launches an additional super attack. So that'll be very, very helpful for helping him get the bonus on those 12 keys, right? Stunning and sealing the enemy, as well as the defense raise, as well as allowing him to deal damage with piercing and critical hit. His active skill is a domain, and it can be activated when you have a full movie bosses, so a turn 1 activation, or starting from his 5th turn from the start of battle. It will massively raise his own attack and cause ultimate damage while creating the new Red Ribbon Army domain. This is a powerful buff in that it will buff all movie bosses for 60% attack, one of the largest buffs from a domain that we've seen. It's going to be pretty fun. So now you might be asking, okay, well, there's a lot going on there. Seems pretty tanky, but he's losing a lot of stats. So how do we want to build him? Well, thankfully, I do have a little something for you guys here. We have the LR Cell Max potential guide that we put out. So my recommendation here for him is to invest fully in additionals. And here's why. When we take a look right at the hidden potential breakdown here on the Dokkan Battle Wiki, we can see that as an AGL type, he is going to maximize additionals, right? Getting a max of 20, which is a 40% chance to do an additional super attack. Now, you might be asking, well, why would we want to do this? Well, when we take a look at his passive, while he's not gaining anything extra from his 18 key, it's his 12 key effects that really help us. Not only are the sealing and stunning beneficial in events where that can happen, right? A greater chance of stunning is always good, but it's the defense raise that we're really concerned about with here, because this is the only way he can raise his defenses by getting those additional defense raises on his 12 key. Otherwise, you're stuck with his passive. Now, again, with 20 or more key, you get at least one additional, but a second additional would allow you a 40% raise instead of, or a 60% raise instead of that 30% raise, which is hugely beneficial for him, especially as the turns go on and these stats drop. You can see that he doesn't really need critical hit because, looking at his links here and the teams that he's going to be on with the support he's going to having, key is a non-issue for him. He's going to get that 20 key on his own just from having your HP up, right? He's giving himself, you're already getting 8 key from his from having him as your leader, right? Because he's key 4. Then you're getting another 3, and another 2 if you have full HP, right? So that's 6, 8, another 8 key. That's 16 key right there, right? You would need 4 key spheres, actually only 2 because he has this right here. And then of course on his first turn, he's got key 8. So he's already going to have more than 20 key on that first turn. So realistically, critical hit's not necessary on him. So I recommend going full additionals with a sub dodge. Since the critical hit is not needed, you can go ahead and invest the rest into there. As far as his equipment goes, right, he does have special equipment that you can gain for completing the upcoming Seriously Serious battles via the missions. It gives him defense 9 plus an additional combo attack 3, attack 6, and combo attack 6 and defense level 3. Now, obviously, if you have God equips for extreme AGL, then by all means use those. I would honestly invest more in the additional defense for the silver, but I do think his gold and his bronze are pretty good. Although, right, I mean, if you have the God additional defense that gives a level 7 here, that's obviously better, and you would want to invest in that as opposed to this. But these are free, and every player has access to them. So they are the base recommendation I'm going to give. Now, if you don't want to lean into his offense, right? I know I tend to bias my builds towards offense. If you want to play Selmax a little more defensively, you can swap this by going full dodge. Since he is AGL, however, right, the most you're going to be able to get out of that dodge is 15, which is only a net 15%. So if you are going to go full dodge, then I do recommend adjusting his skill orbs to be dodge orbs instead. There's plenty of good God equip dodge defense orbs that you could lean into. And again, that's if you want to more play the dodge card instead of rolling into his extra offense and defense from the additionals. That's ultimately up to you, although I do think having the extra chance of stunning and sealing is a little bit better. But again, ultimately, the choice is yours, how you want to play your Cell Max. So, guys, that is our video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, how would you end up building your Cell Max? Personally, I lean into the offensive side. I find that leaning more into the dodge side of things tends to have more net negative consequences than positive. Yeah, you're going to dodge a super once in a while, but when you try to exit out of different modes or try to do different challenges, you begin to feel the lack of offense on a lot of characters, especially characters who don't have much crit. Selmax is fortunate that he does have a way to mitigate his crit. However, that's not always true for every character. So that is why we chose to build him the way we did. So that's it for the video, guys. If nothing else, thanks for watching and aloha.